على نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين. Dear brothers and sisters, His Excellency the Vice Chancellor, His Excellency the Vice Chancellor, other honorable guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. It is a great pleasure to be participating in this conference, August 1. When I received the invitation from my brother and friend, Professor Rashid, I was very happy that the topic is dealing with the intellectual crisis of the Muslim Ummah and at the same time rethinking traditional solutions. Because most of us, to a great extent, is thinking and working inside the box, like the frame on the wall. And every time has its own culture, its own way of thinking, its own fatwas, and its own practices. Because of the great number of speaking and speakers and the very limited time, I may ask you one question and then try to locate the intellectual crisis and answer some of the questions Professor Rashid mentioned in his invitation. Do you think, as Muslims in this world, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us with inferior mind than others? Huh? No. So why do they develop and we don't? Although we have a very high esteemed culture and heritage. Did you ever think of that? War starts in the mind, and peace as well starts in the mind. And one of the most obstacles and the challenges we have related to this topic is that we do not allocate proper time for thinking. We are busy. We find it easy to import. We imported democracy. We import the armies we fight with. We import many things. And at the same time, we do not have proper research centers. I'll give you one verse from the Quran, Surah Al Imran. Toward the end of Surah Al Imran, we read the following: إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. I think most of you memorize these verses. And then Allah says, and He gives us two characteristics of أولي الألباب. Two characteristics of أولي الألباب. One of them is الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم. And this is ibadah, religious ibadah, as Ibn Taymiyyah said. And the second characteristic, وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. They ponder over the creation of the skies and the earth. Every one of us mostly possess the first characteristic or quality, but none of us as countries, governments, individuals, even movements assess a lot of time for the second one. And if we did that, and it is named by Ibn Taymiyyah عبادة كونية. And when he was asked what is عبادة كونية, he said the Muslim should know the secrets of the universe around him. So we are practicing a part of it, and we are neglecting the other part. وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Another factor is that we bear on our shoulders more than we can carry. If one of you is a bodybuilder or a wrestler or a boxer, and he can carry 100 kilograms, and his friends convince him that he can carry 1 ton, what will happen to him? Huh? You don't know? What will happen to him? Huh? Collapse. And this is what happened to the Ummah. We have an issue in Afghanistan. I was there for 6 years. We have an issue in Syria. We have an issue in Libya. We have an issue in Somalia. We have an issue in Yemen. We have an issue in Iraq. We have an issue with minorities. We have an issue mostly everywhere. And still there are some Muslims who think that they are doing jihad as Daesh are doing at present. The third point, time jihad. The jihad of this time. The jihad of this time is to get out from underdevelopment. The jihad of this time is to think and lead and give a model. The jihad of this time is not to import democracy and you have the shura system. The jihad of this time is to unite. The jihad of this time is to work for the advancement of the Ummah and the humanity in large. Because if a Muslim has power and strength, he will never do injustice, as we see the hegemony coming from different sources at present. And this is a very significant issue that we have to do, and I hope Aligarh University will, in the future, think of establishing a research center, maybe research center of التفكر في خلق السماوات والأرض, thinking about the creation of skies and earth. If we do that, NASA will vanish. And if we did that earlier, we will never have seen NASA. But we will be leading the world and giving a very good example. The last point, because of time, it needs a lot of discussion. The last point is the model. We did not give a model to the world. If you read in الأحزاب يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. If we are siraja munira, shining light, shining moon, shining stars, people will be guided by us. But we, unfortunately, are taking models from others and treading on what we have, the heritage, the great history. At a time, India gave the world hundreds, thousands of great scholars in different themes and in different subjects. And Afghanistan and Bukhara and Samarkand, not only Arabs. You may think it is how it happened that 5 of the great muhaddithin are not Arabs. So it is the model that we should give to the world. We have to think about these points, and they can lead, in my own understanding, to a renaissance, intellectual renaissance of the Ummah. Professor Rashid asked one of the questions, does Islam need renewal, to renew, or new interpretation? And I say both, because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in the correct hadith that إن الله يبعث على رأس كل 100 سنة من يجدد للأمة دينها, to renew religion for the people, for Ummah. It doesn't mean that religion or Islam becomes old, but it means 2 things: to detach from Islam what was added to Islam without any proper reason, and to add to Islam what has been taken from Islam without a proper reason. Thank you very much. I don't like to take much of your time, but the topic is very important and significant. Thank you, and thanks for the invitation.